We use it every single day, right? For pretty much everything. But have you ever really stopped and wondered, how does the internet actually work? Well, let's dive in and pull back the curtain on the everyday magic that connects all of us. I mean, really think about it. You click a link, and in what feels like an instant, a whole world of information appears. That single click kicks off this incredible chain reaction across the entire globe. So let's trace that journey and see exactly what's happening behind your screen. All right, first things first, we gotta get this idea of the internet as some kind of magical, invisible cloud out of our heads. It's not magic at all. It's a real physical thing. The best way to picture it is as this massive, sprawling network made up of countless smaller networks, all talking to each other. Seriously, think of it like a global highway system. The internet isn't just floating in the air, it's a physical infrastructure. We're talking about millions of computers all connected by actual stuff, like giant fiber optic cables running under the ocean, satellites orbiting the planet, and, the wire that plugs into your house. It is literally a highway system for information. Okay, so if the internet is a highway, what are the cars? What's actually zipping around on these digital roads? Well, this gets to the very core of how information moves from one place to another online. So here's the thing. When you ask for a web page, it doesn't get sent to you in one big chunk. No way. Instead, that entire website, images, text, everything, gets chopped up into thousands of tiny little pieces. We call these data packets. Each one is like a little digital traveler, heading out on its own journey across that global highway. And what's so cool is how organized these packets are. Think of each one exactly like a package you'd send in the mail. It's got a destination address, where it's going, and a source address, which is basically a return address. That's how the server knows where to send stuff back to you. It's this super simple system that makes sure data actually gets where it needs to go without getting lost. Of course, you can't have a massive highway system without traffic laws, right? It would be total chaos. Well, the internet is no different. It has its own digital rules of the road, and these are called protocols. They're what keep all this traffic moving smoothly. Now, there are a bunch of these, but the two big ones you gotta know are TCP/IP and HTTP. Just think of TCP/IP as the master traffic controller. Its job is to make sure all those little packets get to where they're going safely. And, this is crucial, it puts them all back together in the right order. Then you have HTTP. That's the specific language your browser uses to ask a server, hey, can I see this website? So we know our data packets are like little packages with an address on them. But that brings up a pretty big question. How does your computer know what address to use? How does it find Google.com in a network with billions of other devices? The answer is something called the Domain Name System, or DNS. And honestly, the best way to think about it is as the internet's giant global phone book. It's that simple. We humans, we remember names. Computers, they only care about numbers. DNS is the incredible system that translates between the two. And here's exactly how it works. You type in a name you can remember, like Google.com. Behind the scenes, your computer immediately asks a DNS server, hey, what's the number for this name? DNS looks it up in its massive directory and sends back the IP address, that string of numbers you see. Now, your browser knows exactly where to send its request. Okay, so we've got all the pieces on the board. We've got the highway, the packets, the rules of the road, and the phone book. Now, let's put it all together. Let's trace the entire journey from the moment you click to the second a full web page loads on your screen. So it all starts with you typing in that web address. Instantly, your browser performs that DNS lookup to get the number, the IP address. Once it has that, it shoots an HTTP request across the internet to that specific server. The server gets the request and starts sending the website back to you, broken up into thousands of those little data packets. And finally, your browser's job is to catch all of them, put them back together in the right order, and poof, it renders the complete web page for you. And here is the absolutely wild part. That entire journey, that incredibly complex dance from your keyboard to a DNS server, out to a web server, maybe halfway across the world, and all the way back again, happens in less than 1 second. It is a truly mind-boggling feat of global engineering. So, why do you need to know any of this? Is it just fun trivia? Not at all. Understanding this fundamental process actually has some really practical, real-world importance for how we use and even build the web. Well, for one, when you know these steps, you can start to figure out why a website is slow. Is it a DNS problem? Is the server itself just slow? It also helps you appreciate things like security. You know that little S in HTTPS? That means your packets are being encrypted for safety. And look, for anyone who wants to build things on the web, this is the bedrock. This is the foundation you need to understand to create the next big thing. So if you remember one thing from all this, let it be this. The internet isn't magic. It's a beautifully, carefully orchestrated system. It's this incredible symphony of physical wires, logical addresses, strict rules, and tiny data packets all working together at a speed that is almost impossible to comprehend. Once you understand how it all works, you can start to imagine what's next. By getting this foundation, we stop being just users of the internet, and we become participants in what it will become. So the only real question left is, what are we all going to build with it?